Sunlight streams through the windows of our mansion in Chestnut Hill on this spring morning. As I prepare breakfast in the golden rays of dawn, the sweet aroma of pancakes wafts through the kitchen. Just imagining my 6-year-old son Noah's eyes lighting up fills me with joy. This 5-bedroom Georgian estate was a wedding gift from my husband's parents. The spacious kitchen is equipped with state-of-the-art appliances, and through the windows, I can see carefully tended tulips in the garden. "Mama, it smells wonderful." Noah's voice echoes as he bounds down the stairs. His blonde curls shimmer in the morning light, making him look like an angel. His big blue eyes are always full of curiosity, and his innocent smile gives me the strength to face another day. "Good morning, Noah. I put extra blueberries in today. Did you finish your homework from yesterday?" "Yes. I finished all my math and kanji. Do you think the teacher will praise me?" Gently stroking my son's head, I plate the fresh pancakes. The amber maple syrup creates tiny rainbows on the table as it catches the morning light. Noah happily picks up his favorite Spider-Man fork and begins to eat. My husband James had left early for work. As a manager at an investment bank, his schedule was always demanding. Though we'd been seeing less of each other lately, I believed it was just because of his busy work schedule. The sight of my tall husband in his gray suit was still my pride and joy. We've been married for 10 years. We met at Lucille, the upscale restaurant where I worked. At this premier French establishment on Newbury Street, James would come every Friday to eagerly ask me questions about wine when I was a novice sommelier. I gradually fell for his sophistication and gentlemanly demeanor. Our first date was at an art museum. After that, it was like something out of a movie: fine dining, weekend drives, and classical concerts. There was always an air of refinement around James. After 6 months of dating, when he proposed under the Eiffel Tower during our Paris trip, I felt an incomparable happiness. True, his mother Elizabeth initially disapproved of my profession as a sommelier, but after earnest persuasion from James, her only son, she appeared to accept it on the surface. "Mama, I'll do my best at school today. The piano recital is coming up, so I'll practice when I get home." As I nodded with a smile at Noah's words, I pushed my recent unease to the back of my mind. My husband had been coming home later and later, always glued to his phone. Large sums would occasionally disappear from our accounts, and our conversations had dwindled. Though I noticed the occasional flash of anxiety on his face, I couldn't bring myself to ask about it. Lately, my mother-in-law had been visiting more frequently, and her cold gaze toward me had intensified. Since being diagnosed with terminal cancer and given 6 months to live, she seemed to have become even more possessive of her son. Though she still maintained her dignity in luxury brands and perfect makeup, there was something obsessive in her eyes. "Caitlin, I'll help with the cleaning. You have work, don't you?" Her tone carried a hint of sarcasm as she invited herself in. To her, a prominent figure in Boston's high society with $300 million in assets, my job was still apparently distasteful. But right now, I want to focus on the happiness before me. I'm giving my all as a sommelier at Lucille, James at his investment bank, and Noah at the prestigious Beaver Country Day School. My best friend Mary supports me as the chef at the same restaurant. Our lunches together are precious moments of respite for me. "Hey, Kate. You haven't seemed yourself lately. Is something wrong?" Even yesterday during lunch when Mary asked me this, I deflected with a vague smile. I climb into the Lexus RX to take Noah to school. The spring streets of Boston, with tulips in full bloom, look like a postcard. The city is bustling with the Red Sox season opener, and Boston Marathon support banners flutter along the roadside. These morning drives are precious mother-son time. See you after school. Have fun in art class. As I kiss Noah goodbye at the school gates, a small worry crosses my mind. But I had no way of knowing it was a prelude to an irreversible tragedy. During the morning at the restaurant, there's a meeting about the new wine list. I change into my white sommelier suit and carefully pin up my curly hair. My reflection in the mirror looks the same as always. Yet my intuition tells me something is definitely changing. The morning work at Lucille progresses as usual. While I'm absorbed in selecting wines for the new list, my best friend Mary approaches me. "Kate, how about lunch? I made a new quiche." Mary is my only close friend and Lucille's talented chef. Lunch breaks with her have become my daily comfort. "Mary, I've actually been worried about something." Just as I was about to tell her about my husband's recent behavior, my phone rings. My mother-in-law's name appears on the screen. "Caitlin, I've prepared a special dinner tonight. Let's all eat together as a family. I've already contacted James." Her voice lacks its usual arrogance. "There's something urgent about it." "Yes, of course. Is there some special occasion?" "Just a family gathering. Come at 7 o'clock. Bring Noah too." Even after hanging up, her tone bothers me. After finishing my afternoon work, I pick up Noah from school. He cheerfully tells me about his day as usual. But as we drive toward my mother-in-law's mansion, his energy seems to fade. "Noah, what's wrong? Are you feeling sick?" "Yes, my head hurts a little." The mansion at twilight seems to carry a heavier atmosphere than usual. The crystal chandelier casts a cold light, and the room filled with expensive furnishings is eerily quiet. My mother-in-law is already seated in the dining room. She's wearing an expensive dress with perfect makeup. But there's an unfamiliar look in her eyes. "Welcome, Caitlin, Noah. Please, sit down." The table is set with a full French course, hors d'oeuvres, soup, main dish, and dessert. Everything is plated with restaurant-quality perfection. "Sorry, I'll be a bit late." A message arrives from my husband. My mother-in-law shows no particular concern and begins pouring wine. "You know this wine, don't you? It's a 2015 Chateau Margaux." As a professional, I knew the wine's value. It easily exceeds $1,000 per bottle. Such an expensive wine isn't usually opened for a regular dinner. James arrived 30 minutes later. He seems somewhat unsettled as he takes his seat. His usually perfectly knotted tie is slightly askew. "Mother, is there some special reason for today?" "Just a family dinner." The meal progresses in an unusual silence. The only sound is silver cutlery touching fine china. Noah unusually has no appetite and merely picks at his food. As the crème brûlée is being served for dessert, my vision begins to blur. "Mama, I feel sick." Noah's voice seems distant. As I try to stand, my legs give way. We collapse onto the expensive carpet. Through my fading consciousness, I faintly hear a conversation. "Everything will be resolved soon. Once they're gone, we'll be free." It was my husband's voice. "Yes, Jamie. I'll set your life right with my remaining time." My mother-in-law's voice echoes. After that, my memories become fragmentary. An ambulance siren. Mary's desperate voice. Then, a white ceiling. The smell of disinfectant stings my nose. A steady rhythm marks the silence. My consciousness gradually emerges from a white fog. A private room in the hospital. Moonlight streams through the window. The wall clock second-hand heavily marks time, showing 2 a.m. Noah. I call my son's name in a hoarse voice. I feel a dull pain in my arm where the 4 is inserted. My body feels heavy as lead, and my thoughts are foggy. Mrs. Caitlin, how are you feeling? A doctor in a white coat quietly addresses me. She's a gentle-mannered woman in her 50s. Noah, my son. Don't worry. Your son is receiving treatment in another room. His condition is stable. How relieved I felt at those words. A deep sigh escapes naturally. What happened? Sleeping pill poisoning. Fortunately, it was discovered early, and appropriate treatment was administered. Thanks to your friend who called the ambulance. Mary. She saved us. When she couldn't reach me by phone, she became suspicious and came to check on us. Ma'am, are you able to talk? A middle-aged man in a suit stands in the corner of the room. He's the lawyer I consulted about divorce last week. Yes, I'm all right. There's important news. A serious situation has developed concerning you and Noah. The lawyer's voice carries a heavy weight. Actually, James and your mother-in-law have died in an accident. Those words freeze the air in the hospital room. What? Tonight, on the highway. They couldn't make a turn and broke through the guardrail. Fragmentary memories return to my mind. The dinner. The wine. The conversation I heard before losing consciousness. Initial police investigation has revealed something. They had tickets to the Caribbean at the time of the accident. And the lawyer pauses momentarily and takes out some documents. These are draft divorce papers that James secretly requested last week. They specify no child support or alimony payments whatsoever. My hands are shaking. Looking back, I had also consulted a different lawyer about divorce last week. My husband's changed behavior, the increasing secrets, the disappearing money. I knew we couldn't continue like this. Actually, the police contacted me. They found interesting evidence in James's car. Just then, the hospital room door opened. Let me explain. A detective with a commanding presence appeared. She stands straight, fixing me with a sharp gaze. I'm Detective Sarah Murphy from Major Cases. What I'm about to tell you concerns serious matters affecting you and your child. The detective sits down and opens her notebook. First, we found a large quantity of sleeping pills in James's car. They were obtained using your mother-in-law's prescription. And on the laptop in the car. She pauses briefly, sending me a glance as if checking my condition. Details of a murder plan were recorded. Those words send chills down my spine. According to the plan, after rendering you unconscious with sleeping pills, they intended to return at midnight and submerge the car in the ocean. I grab a glass of water with trembling hands. My throat is dry. My thoughts wander between reality and unreality. Why? While we're still investigating the full motive, several facts have come to light. James had substantial debts, and we've confirmed the existence of a 26-year-old mistress. The detective's words continue relentlessly. Your mother-in-law had terminal cancer with little time left. We believe she tried to resolve her son's financial collapse before dealing with the inheritance issues. Just then, a familiar voice comes from the hallway. Mama. Noah enters in a wheelchair, accompanied by a nurse. Noah. We embrace. Warm body temperature, steady heartbeat. We're alive. We can live. Ma'am, there's one more report. The lawyer speaks again. Your mother-in-law's will hasn't been found. This means the legal inheritance applies, and all assets will pass to Noah. I'll assist as guardian in managing the property. Moonlight streams through the window, gently illuminating mother and son. A nightmare-like event. But we're alive. We can greet another morning. Mama, I was scared. It's okay now, Noah. We have many more tomorrows waiting for us. As we embrace, dawn breaks around us. I was finally beginning to understand that this wasn't an ending, but a new beginning. A week after discharge, I learned the whole truth in an interview room at the police station. The mountain of documents Detective Murphy brought revealed my husband's life that I never knew. First, let me tell you about James's financial situation. The detective opened a blue file. It contained unbelievable numbers. He was a gambling addict. His casino debts amount to $50 million. Furthermore, embezzlement at his company has been discovered. The repayment deadline was the end of this month. Bank statement copies, stacks of IOUs spread across the desk. Desperate numbers written in my husband's handwriting. Luxury car loans, credit card bills, casino collection notices. The public face and the private face. The true identity of my husband, who led a perfect double life, was now being revealed. And this is the decisive evidence. The detective presented a luxury apartment contract. This is a lease agreement for a new home with his mistress, Jessica Morris. It seems they were planning a new life on St. Lucia in the Caribbean. My hands shake. 10 years of marriage. Memories of the family we built together. Was it all just perfect acting? Now, let me explain your mother-in-law's involvement. This time, a red file is opened. Elizabeth was diagnosed with terminal pancreatic cancer 3 months ago. 6 months to live. Right after that, unusual movements began. Security camera footage plays one after another. Secret meetings at the hospital late at night. Private discussions in luxury hotel lobbies. The murder plan for mother and son had been developing since then. Large quantities of sleeping pills were prescribed to Elizabeth by her primary physician. Under the pretext of cancer pain. The detective spread out new materials. Furthermore, this is the notebook detailing the plan. The notebook contained meticulous entries. April 15th, location, home dining room, mix sleeping pills in wine, create alibi of business dinner, dispose of car in ocean at 2 a.m. Everything had been planned. Our lives were scheduled to be erased so simply. Why that particular night? To my question, the detective answered gravely. Elizabeth's condition suddenly worsened. She probably wanted to fix her son's life with her remaining time. Heavy silence falls in the interrogation room. However, an unexpected event disrupted the plan. The detective showed a new photo. Mary's image captured on security cameras. My best friend had become suspicious when she couldn't reach me by phone and came to check on us. When Mary called the ambulance, the perpetrators had finished their business dinner as planned and were preparing for the midnight crime. However, when they heard the ambulance sirens, security cameras caught the image of two people hurriedly getting into a car. The accident resulted from their hasty escape attempt. They couldn't make the turn and broke through the guardrail. As I listened to the story, I gazed out the window. Spring sunlight streams into the police station courtyard, where cherry blossoms sway in the wind. Mrs. Caitlin, there's one more important report. The detective takes out new documents. These are the results of investigating Elizabeth's estate. Total assets are $300 million. And no valid will has been found. That means, yes, by legal inheritance, all assets will pass to Noah. Of course, you'll be the property manager until he comes of age. Just then, my cell phone rings. It's the hospital. Mom. They say I can be discharged. Noah shouts happily on the other end. Really? That's wonderful, Noah. Yes. Mary's here too. We're going to look at the new house together, right? That's right. The new home Mary found for us. A house in a quiet residential area, a little way from Chestnut Hill. The place where our new life will begin. Mrs. Caitlin. The detective smiles gently. The remaining procedures can wait. Your precious son is waiting. I stand up and grab my bag. As I leave the police station, spring breeze caresses my cheeks. Flower petals fall as if blessing us. While driving, I thought about how this tragedy had brought us a new life. The wounds are deep, and healing will take time. But Noah and I have a future. And we have friends like Mary. When I arrive at the hospital, Noah is waiting in a wheelchair with Mary by his side. Mama. My son waves with a beaming smile. Mary too gives us a warm look. Let's go. To our new home. Noah nods firmly at my words. In the spring sunlight, our new story was about to begin.